Hey everyone, welcome back. Another episode here of Banish the Doubt. I bow to the light that is inside of you. I am George McNamara. In this episode, this video, what I want to talk about, some may call perspective, but I heard something the other day that really kind of stopped me and kind of gave me perspective. Do you know that the sun, or what we call the sun, the star in the galaxy, is 93 million miles away from us? And we get what we call a sunburn. Well, it's actually a star burn. We feel the heat from this star 93 million miles away. And did you also know that 1.3 million Earths can fit inside this star? And that this star let me make sure I got my notes correct here about this, is one of 300 billion in the galaxy, of which there are 2 trillion galaxies. Now, when you step back and kind of take this sort of macro, this larger view, right? At least in my perspective, I sat and thought, now, and what am I worried about? What am I getting upset about? We're upset because the person in front of us is not driving fast enough, or they didn't make the turn once the light turned green, or they slowed down and stopped at a light they certainly could have driven through, right? The yellow light, they decided to slow down and stop at and wait for the light to turn red. But we determined, no, you should have gone through that yellow light. You had plenty of time, right? You see, when we're doing this, we're resisting. And what we're doing when we are resisting is we are continuing to push down all of this energy that wants to come up. You know, I heard Michael Singer, he wrote the book, The Untethered Soul, and he said, I'm not sure if I know he said it, but I'm not sure if this is something he heard from his Buddha traditions or teachings or yoga teachings, but a blade of grass can never get split in two or in half, but a hurricane will rip an oak tree right out of the ground. It's because the blade of grass, obviously, it swerves, it moves with the energy of the hurricane, where an oak tree is stuck. It's right there. It won't move. It'll slightly bend, but eventually it just rips right out of the ground. And this hurricane is the energy, is life. You see, in my case, with the cancer, I also heard him say, we can handle I think it was him, or maybe Tony Robbins said, we can handle the boulders of life, right? The cancer, the heart disease, the stroke, the divorce. At least we think we can. But it's the pebbles that ultimately end up dooming us, the multiplying of the pebbles. The person who won't drive fast enough, they're not driving above the speed limit fast enough, or they're driving below the speed limit. The person in the left lane who clearly should be in the right lane because they're not driving fast enough. You know, the person who says a comment at work that triggers us, or our spouse or our in-laws that say something that triggers us. But the triggering is just that energy. So that's stored junk that we have inside of us. And the way to start to live a life where we feel lighter, and many of the clients that I coach tell me that I just feel lighter after having a session. It's because we're allowing that energy to move through us. And what Michael Singer talks about is the next time we're driving and a person pulls their car in front of us, we call it cutting off. And you've heard a similar in some earlier episodes. I talked about how when we react, they cut us off. But when we respond, maybe they're in a hurry. They got a bad text message. They have to get somewhere right away. Or they're just somebody who was full with anxiety and stress. And we just, we look at it, say they're going to get to their destination maybe 10 seconds or 20 seconds before we get to ours. Anyway, when we are able to compartmentalize and recognize what's really going on, and that in this moment, we're not going to allow this moment to upset us. Or if we do get upset, allow the energy to just flow, let it come through us. Michael Singer refers to this as low-hanging fruit. Because of it, like towards if the house burnt down or something like that, that's obviously a major event. It takes a lot more practice to be able to recognize what's going on and to detach ourselves from it. I'm not saying we become cold or, hey, nothing bothers us. Doesn't matter if the house burnt down or, God forbid, something happened to one of our children or a spouse or what have you. But it's this, in these moments, these little moments, as we learn to let go and understand that it's stored energy that is coming up. And when it's trying to come up and we react in the moment, we're pushing it down. This is why many people have stomach issues, right? Or issues of the intestines or digestive issues. Think about where all that stuff is located. It's in our gut. That's why they call it a gut feeling, when something just feels right. Okay? So a couple of things I want to share with you, some quotes that I thought were very profound. The first one is, goal in life is to get to a point in life, okay? One of our goals could be to get to a place in life where nothing can come in, something from the outside, that is more beautiful than what is on the inside. You see, because this is why I say I bow to that light inside of you. If we're able to get, and this is something I'm working on, and I work on it every single day. So what I'm talking to you about in these videos is nothing that I've mastered or what have you. It's almost therapeutic for myself that I'm learning. I'm reminding myself to live this way. It's a constant education. But Michael Singer talked about, and also the book Letting Go, not Michael Singer, but Power vs. Force by David Hopkins. He also talked about this. As we were able to let go of these energies, allow them to flow through us, the energy that comes up. You've heard about the chakras. If you haven't, you may want to look at something like that on YouTube. But these energy centers within us, as we're able to allow these energies to flow through us, we said the energy that comes through us, ultimately, that energy is so intoxicating. It's so beautiful that's where this quote came from. Get to the point where nothing outside, the boat, the house, the spouse, the job, the car, can fulfill or fill in that emptiness. Nothing outside of us, more so than what the beauty is on the inside. Another very poignant quote that I heard was that the great ones they explore the source of consciousness, while the rest of us explore the objects of consciousness. You may want to write that down. The great ones explore the source of consciousness, while the rest of us explore the objects of consciousness. And here is a daily mantra that I'm starting to live and repeat and remind myself of every single day, as many times throughout the day as I can, to where I get it memorized. It says here simply, God, please kill the anguish in me that's killing the you in me. You could put God, you could put source, whatever you want to use the word, okay? The pride, the bitterness, the compromise, the fear, the doubt. Strip it, burn it, uproot it, okay? The oak tree, uproot it. I don't want to look blessed and still be broken. I don't want to sound anointed yet still be empty. Just make me real. Make me holy. Make me yours. That's all I ask. You could look at that from a different way. So you could use a source, what have you. You can replace the word holy. But it really is a reminder of living in this present moment. To live the way, like Jesus said. One of the more profound quotes I heard from Jesus is, man does not live, you can see today, people do not live by bread alone, but by every word that leaves the mouths of people. Okay? Man or people minus mind equals source or God. So we want to get to the point where we surrender to this life. Because remember, how significant is what that person said, the boss, how they reacted, our spouse, whatever it may be. When we consider what I just mentioned here, I heard a lot of this from Michael Singer. We would like to get to a point in our life where we are so filled with happiness in the light, the energy that's flowing through us, that we could go to our job and live in that moment and be so filled, so happy that we say, I'm so focused on just doing the best I can in this moment at this job that I can't even believe they're paying me for this. That's a big one. Okay, I am so full of energy and happiness and joy in this moment. And I'm just pouring everything I can into this moment to do and be the best I can, that I can't believe I'm actually getting paid to live this way. Let that be the bar for you to try to reach and then climb over. Have a great day.